Shalom Aleichem, good day of Shabbos. We are continuing Hachsek's learning of the Pele Yoetz, day number 179. In the chapter of Dibur, we just began yesterday speaking about those words which are mutter, which are permitted to speak about, not necessarily mitzvah, but he's talking about how we can convert even the mundane into mitzvahs. V'gam ze adibur shemaske l'shem shemayim. When you mention Shem Shemayim, Hashem's name, Iu gufei dibur shal mitzvah, the words themselves become a mitzvah. V'hu'achelech kitmas ashur, and you will go in the ways of the upright, which means anytime that you mention Hashem's name, you are certainly bringing your deeds into the right place. Before every action that you do, mention the Ribbono Shel Olam. Before anything that you say, whether it's a mitzvah or whether reshus, whether it's something that's permissible. Mitzvahs require kavanah, intention. The mitzvahs that you're going to do require mentioning Hashem's name even more than when you're doing something that's a devar reshus, that's a permissibility. The Mekubalim, the mystics, the Kabbalists write the following. We're going to get back to an idea that we spoke about previously called klipos, which is like that shell, that barrier that is surrounding a person, surrounding a mitzvah, surrounding the kedusha, the impurity. Shaklipa kol chetza lidavek b'chol ma'isa isha Yisrael. What are the klipos for? They want to cling to all of the actions of a Jew. But when you mention Hashem's name, it separates the klipa from your action, from your speech, and has nothing with which to hold on to. So, as we're going to see, the Shem Shemayim, when you mention the Mirz Hashem, Be'ez Hashem, Baruch Hashem, and the like, you are pushing away the klipos, these negative barriers that are going to be there. And therefore, when it comes to something that's a mitzvah or a kedusha, something that is holy, and especially those mitzvahs which have some kind of a yetzer hara that's attached. For example, there's a pleasure that your body is going to get. It's a mitzvah, as we'll see, but your body's going to get pleasure as well. So now the yetzer hara is getting involved in it already. Going on Shabbos, for example, Shabbos, the pleasures and the delights of all the food that you're going to eat on Shabbos, the simchas Yom Tov and the simcha of Yom Tov, meat and wine and the like. You know the famous story of Yisrael Salanter was once eating by the house of a very wealthy man, and the table was laid with so much delicious, tasty food. There was like 10 courses. And with every course, the rich man would pick up the fork before he ate it, and he would look like a holy Jew, and he would say, L'kavod Shabbos Kodesh, And then he would eat the soup, L'kavod Shabbos Kodesh, and then the fish, and then the this, and the salad, and the potatoes, and the rice, and the meat, and the chicken, and the kugels, L'kavod Shabbos Kodesh. Rabbi Yisrael Salanter couldn't take it anymore. By the time he got to like the 7th course, so the man picked up the fork, and he's about to say, L'kavod Shabbos Kodesh, and Rabbi Yisrael Salanter said, L'chavod your boich. It's all in honor of your stomach and your gut. You did not have in mind L'kavod Shabbos Kodesh. Says the Pele Yoetz, there are mitzvahs that we have to do that the yetzer hara gets involved and we can lose ourselves in there. And therefore he's saying, when you get to those mitzvahs where there's hanas aguf, u'mitzvahs oina kedayma, so too the mitzvah of being together with one's wife at the right time of the month. All of those have physical pleasures. And since that you could elevate the action and make it into a world of kedusha, the klipos are trying their best to grab on and hold on to them, and take its own portion with it, which means it wants to remove any kedusha that might be there. That's the chiyus, that's how it survives, that's how it lives. Al derech nichsiv, like it says in the pasuk in Tehillim, Saviv Rashayim Yishalachon. The wicked, meaning the klipa, in circles around the people, around the mitzvahs, around the good things that people are doing. And it tries to usurp the kedusha that is there. And it will cause, once the klippas get in there and now you're disconnected from the real purity of the mitzvah, it will cause a person to go to veer from the straight path. They'll do things not for the sake of heaven. And specifically in the mitzvah of relations between a husband and a wife. When the klippa grabs on, it's terrible. It causes a very bad soul to come to the child that's going to be born of that union. So what is the takana? How do we fix this up? Before everything that you do, before you perform it, and you should speak before anything that you do, say this is for the sake of the yichud, the unity of HaKadosh Baruch Hu and the Shechina. I'm coming to fulfill this particular mitzvah, whatever it is going to be. Einig Shabbos, Simchas Yom Tov, Einah, whatever the mitzvah might be. I want to give pleasure to our Creator, the Sakin of the Devar Misharoshen, and let me fix up these things in the roots. The Malkim Elyon in the higher worlds, and then in more psukim, all about the Inayim Hashem, the pleasant ways of Hashem. Now he's saying, before every mitzvah that you do that has some kind of physical activity involved, where the Yetzer Hara just rears his ugly head, say these words and it'll push that Yetzer Hara away. If you wake up and you want to say these words after you slept, before you said the blessings on the Torah, which you're not allowed to say psukim before you say the blessings on the Torah, so then you should alter things a bit and say like this: your pleasantness should be upon us, Hashem. And then the sitra acha, the evil forces, have no power to grab, to cling, and to grab onto that mitzvah. When you say the right words beforehand, l'shem shamayim, for the sake of Hashem, and you bring HaKadosh Baruch Hu into the picture, you can push the negativity and the koiches atuma, the powers of impurity, away. V'afilu im lo yaseh oisa kol kach ketikun lishma. Even if you don't do the mitzvah the way it's supposed to be done, and you don't do it lishma, for the sake of Hashem, it still goes to the highest places. Legavoya salka, it will ascend to the heavens, because the asay dibor, the words that you have said where you bring Hashem into the picture, umapik midei machshav, will override the imperfect machshavas thoughts that a person has. So even if you're not completely shem shemayim, and your action is not the way that it's supposed to be done 100%, but Hashem heard you say, it should be like this, it elevates, it brings everything up. That's the koyach hadibor, the power that we have. Mitzvah, one mitzvah brings about another mitzvah. If when it comes to the mundane actions, your ears hear these words when you're speaking about Hashem, what comes out of your mouth, I'm doing this right now for the sake of serving Hashem. If that's the case, how could I spend too much time doing these things? How could I be mevatel, nullify the real service of Hashem I should be doing? To do this action over here, I should get so involved in this mundane activity and take myself away from doing the real things that are going to be closer to Hashem? And how would you ever be able to bring anything prohibited into the action that you're doing? You wouldn't. You'll live on a different plane of kedusha. Nimsa the ase maisa umapik midei dibur. Then the action that you're doing is going to come to even override the speech. It's going to be even loftier. V'yoyeshem b'shamayim yitzchak alav HaKadosh Baruch Hu will be in Shemayim laughing, which means that he will be rejoicing over the fact that even your small actions, you mechazik everything. Therefore, put it in your heart to do things in the right way. Everything should be measured in proper places, the proper time. And you do it l'shem yichud kudsha bichu, for the sake of the Rebbeinu Shalom. You took your exercise routine, just became a mitzvah. You're sitting down to dinner, just became a mitzvah. You're having a little late night snack because you need a little extra to give you a good night's sleep, or you have to learn a little bit and it's going to help you. It just became a mitzvah. You're going to have a conversation with your wife about the bills, about the budget, about the upcoming school year. L'shem yichud kudsha brichu. That conversation just became a mitzvah, and so on. All of the activities that we do in our lives, if we bring the Rebbeinu Shalom into the picture, then everything gets elevated to the status of a mitzvah. What a schus, mamish, what a schus we truly have. All the best.